Hello math learners, welcome to the part 3 of our reviewer series in preparation for the term 1 examination for Mathematics 8. So if you haven't watched the first two parts, please do so before dealing with this video because right now we will be discussing questions 21 to 30. So without further ado, let's do this. Question number 21. In which quadrant would the point -7, 4 be located? Is it quadrant 1? Is it quadrant 4? Is it quadrant 3? Or is it quadrant 2? What do you think is the answer? Alright, my dear math learners. As you can see, -7, 4, that is negative for the x-axis and then positive for the y-axis. So if we check your Cartesian plane, that is in the upper left side. Okay, so the upper left side is known as what? Quadrant. Very good, that is quadrant 2. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So now let us go to the next question. Point A for -3 is given. So that is the location of point A. Which pair of points is exactly 7 units vertically from point A? Is it 4, 3 and 4, -9? Is it 4, 4? Is it 4, 10? Is it 4, 4 and 4, -10? Or is it 11, -3 and -3, 3? What do you think is the answer? Alright, my dear math learners, talking about vertically. Okay, so that means that is a line that is parallel to the y-axis. So therefore, if we have a point in which 4, -3 is the location, we will be focusing on the -3. So we move 7 units upward and then 7 units downward. So if we move 7 units upward, that would be positive 4. And we move 7 units below, that would be -10. So that is positive 4 and -10. Okay, so this is the third option. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So now let us go to the next question. Question number 23. Your school is located at 3, 4 and your house is located at 11, 10. Find the midpoint between your school and house. Is it 8, 6? Is it 14, 14? Is it 7, 7? Or is it 4, 4? What do you think is the answer, my dear math learners? Okay, in getting the midpoint of the two locations, what you need to do is very simple, my dear math learners. You just add the x coordinates and then you just add the y coordinates. Then after adding, you get the half of each values. So 11 plus 3, that would be 14. 10 plus 4, that would be 14. So 14 and then 14, you divide that by 2, so that would be 7, 7. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So now let us go to the next question. On a grid map of a neighborhood, a sari-sari store is located at -4, -3, and a nearby market is located at 5, -3. How far is the sari-sari store from the market? Is it 8 units? Is it 4 units? Is it 6 units? Or is it 9 units? What do you think is the answer? Alright, my dear math learners, let us consider first the two given coordinates. As you can see, both of them have the same y coordinates. So you just need to know the distance between -4 and 5. So -4 and 5, what is the distance? So from -4 you arrive at 0 and then from 0 you arrive at 5. So that is 4 and then 5. So that is a total of, very good, 9 units. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So now let us go to the next question. The following are the test scores of students: 60, 70, 80, 70, 90, 70, 80. What is the median score? Is it 70? Is it 60? Is it 80? Or is it 90? What do you think is the answer? Okay, my dear math learners, in getting the median of a given data set, what you need to do is you just arrange them from lowest to highest. And since the given here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you have 7 values, then the middle value of that one, since we are talking about median, that would be the fourth value. Alright, so from lowest we have 60, then second lowest 70, then third lowest 70, then fourth lowest is 70. So we already have our answer, the fourth position, 70. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So now let us go to the next question. Factor x squared minus 14x plus 49. Is it x plus 7, the quantity of x plus 7 squared? Is it the quantity of x minus 7 squared? Is it x minus 3 times x minus 11? Or is it the quantity x minus 7 times x plus 7? What do you think is the answer? Alright, my dear math learners, as you can see, we have here a perfect square we have here a trinomial. And this trinomial, as you can see here, this is a perfect square, and this one is a perfect square, and this is the double value of the, let's say, 2AB. Okay, so if that is the case, my dear math learners, basically, this is the result of a square of a binomial. Alright, so square of a binomial. But since we have here negative, alright, so we will be following the value or the sign of the second term. And that is this one. Alright, let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? Now, another tip, my dear math learners, is when you try to expand or simplify the four given options, and if you arrive to our original value, then that would be another way to solve this one. Alright, now let us go to the next question. Which quadrant contains points with the negative x coordinate and the negative y coordinate? Is it quadrant 2? Is it quadrant 4? Is it quadrant 1? Or is it quadrant 3? What do you think is the answer? Okay, very easy, my dear math learners. If you have a negative x and you have a negative y, then that would be in the lower left side. So what is the quadrant in the lower left side? That is quadrant 3. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So now let us go to question 28. John buys and carnival tickets at 25 pesos each. If there is a booking fee of 15 pesos, how much does he spend in total? Is it 40N? Is it 15 plus 25N? Is it 25N minus 15? Or is it 25N over 15? What do you think is the answer? Alright, my dear math learners. Now, as you can see here, the number of tickets is depending on the n variable, right? So that is n, and the amount of ticket is 25 pesos. So that would be whatever number of tickets you have, you always multiply it to 25. So that would be 25n. So we have here 25n, we have here 25n, we have here 25n. However, there is a booking fee of 15 pesos. So you add it plus 15. So the correct answer would be this one. So 15 plus the 25n. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So I hope you got that one, my dear math learners. Now let us go to the next question. Which of the following is equivalent to 3x over 4 plus 5x over 6? Is it 9x plus 10x over 12? Is it the quantity 9x minus 10x over 24? Is it 3x plus 5x over 10? Or is it 9x plus 10x over 24? What do you think is the answer? Alright, my dear math learners. Now, as you can see here, these two are similar fractions. So, 4 and 6. So, what is the least common denominator for 4 and 6? Very good, that is 12. So, therefore, in order for this to get to 12, then you multiply it by 3. So, you multiply this by 3. In order for this to go to 12, you multiply this by 2. And then, the 5x, multiply it by 2. So, you have 10 for the numerator for this over 6. And then, you have here 9 because this is multiplied by 3. So, you have this one. You have the LCD of 12 and then the numerators 9x and 10x. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So, I hope you got that one, my dear math learners. Now, let us go to question number 30. A student claims 3 over x plus 2 over the quantity x plus 1 is equal to 5 over the quantity 2x plus 1. Which evaluation is correct? Correct, because the denominators can also be added. Incorrect, because the denominators are different and a common denominator is needed. Is it the third one? Incorrect, because rational expressions cannot be added. Or the fourth one, correct, because the numerators can be added. What do you think is the answer? Alright, my dear math learners, always remember this rule that if you have the similar fractions, what you need to do is to learn and to know the least common denominator. So therefore, this answer is incorrect. You cannot add them automatically. So therefore, the answer would be the second one. Let's check whether we are correct. Easy, right? So my dear math learners, congratulations for finishing 3 parts of our reviewer series. If you find this helpful, please click the subscribe button and notification bell and share this to your fellow friends, classmates, and schoolmates. Now, without further ado, let's go to the 4th part.